Hey guys, it's Chelsea from The Financial Diet, and today we're going to talk about negotiation. So negotiation is something we've already kind of touched on the channel a little bit, and it's probably something you've heard about elsewhere. And you've most likely heard about it in the context of negotiating a salary. Now, negotiating a salary, especially a starting salary, is a very important skill to have, but it's really bad to think of negotiation just in terms of an individual salary. Negotiation is really something that impacts every element of your financial life, and everything from selling something online, to paying a broker's fee, to charging for a one-off gig, all of that is going to be defined by whether or not you can negotiate. For example, right now I'm moving to a new place again, and I'm selling quite a lot of my furniture and other things I have around the house, and every single one of those sales is defined by a little negotiation. And by the same token, every time TFD works with a client, negotiation is part of that process. I'm definitely one of those people who did not negotiate for her first salaried job. And yes, part of it was inexperience, but another part of it was because I thought of negotiation as kind of a desperate, unattractive thing. I really thought that people only negotiated because they really needed money. And that's really ridiculous for two reasons. One, because literally everyone needs money, that's why we work. And two, negotiation is a basic process of being a professional. It actually looks weird and less professional if you don't negotiate. So whether you're deciding the rate for a one-off job, or for the price of an object, or for your salary, here are some basic rules to make you a good negotiator. Rule number one is never be afraid to start the conversation. The truth is that when people are paying you, oftentimes they will try to avoid the conversation of negotiation because they want to pay you less. For example, when someone presents you with an offer, like a salary, and doesn't frame it in a way of like, this is just our opening offer, it's really up to you to start that conversation. You have to get over your fear of how it will make you look and start advocating for yourself. And that could be anything from offering up another rate or salary of your own suggestion, or even just asking in a simple and professional way if there's any flexibility on their number. The point is, if this is a professional person or organization, they're expecting you to negotiate. Number two is always keep it friendly, even if you want to scream at them. Sometimes people are going to offer you an amount that seems laughable, or they might offer you something and you've heard that someone else got way more. But at all costs, you have to resist the temptation to either accuse them of something, get really angry, or start comparing yourself to others. The tone of a negotiation always must feel light and confident and professional. And whether it's in person or in writing, you must make sure that you stay calm. And if you feel yourself getting really angry, take a minute, walk away from the situation, and come back later. It's always okay in a negotiation to ask if you can have a little time to think something over. And for the record, if an employer is trying to insist that you either accept or decline an offer while you're sitting there, not letting you go home and talk to someone about it, or look over your budget, or think over other offers, you probably don't want that job. Number three is come armed with facts. Whether you're talking about the original price of an item you're selling, or all those reasons you should get that raise, if you don't come to a negotiation armed with quantifiable, tangible reasons why you should get what you want, you probably won't. That usually means two things, especially in the case of bigger negotiations. One, it's usually helpful to practice with someone in your life so that you can prepare for all the questions you might be asked. Two, it's good to make a quick document where you can write down all of your evidence and keep the big numbers memorized. And when it comes to really big negotiations like a starting salary, make sure that evidence is something you can easily share, even if that means just formatting all of your reasons into a nice, clean chart and graphic filled one-sheeter. TFD, for example, has a little one page of information that we update pretty much every month that we can quickly give out to clients to show them a little bit more of who we are and why we're asking what we're asking. Number four is have in mind your good number and aim slightly higher. When you start a negotiation, you should always start with a number that's a bit above what you would ultimately feel comfortable settling on. A big mistake that people make, especially when they're new and nervous about negotiation, is thinking that the right number to start with is what they actually want. But the process of negotiation means that if you start with what you want, you're almost guaranteed to settle for less. The idea is to find a good point of compromise, not to start already compromised. Number five is be ready to walk away and embrace the confidence that comes with it. The truth is, for a lot of projects, and this is especially applicable to things like side gigs or one-offs, you have to have a point at which you say, it's just not going to work out, and walk away. It's not just important because that sets a floor to something that is just not okay to work for. It also impacts how the entire negotiation feels. When you know in your heart that you really can walk away, your whole demeanor becomes more confident and more clear. You avoid any of the desperation that the other person can feel and take advantage of. And as an example, in my own life, there have been many projects in my writing career where I said, you know what, I just don't think it's going to work out right now, but thank you so much for the offer. And they've come back to me after and said, okay, we'll give you what you want. A lot of negotiation is chicken, and they want to see how far you'll go. If you have no floor, you really don't have any value. The sixth and final rule is to never seem too excited about an offer. Speaking from my own experience, my first real salary job, when I heard the number I was being paid, and full disclosure, it was $36,000, it was the most money I had ever heard of or could conceive of existing. I literally, and I'm not exaggerating, jumped for joy while on the phone audibly. Not only was I not negotiating, I was literally like throwing a party while I was still talking to my future boss. That told them everything they needed to know and put me in the weakest possible position. Long story short, keep your cool. You shouldn't get angry, but you also shouldn't seem like this is the greatest thing to happen to you. Because not only do you lose the power to negotiate the number, you lose your leverage on all the other things that can be negotiated with, such as in the case of a job, vacation time or work from home or any other kind of flexibility. Remember that there's no one perfect way to negotiate and that a lot of it will depend on the situation and the person that you're negotiating with. But the point is that you should follow these rules in every case because being calm, cool, and confident is always crucial. And most importantly, you should never be afraid to negotiate. You should take pride in being able to do it and to do it well. It's a huge part of being a professional and just being a functional adult. And not negotiating will always cost you. So as always, thank you for watching. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and to go to thefinancialdiet.com for more. Bye!